If you're a financial advisor, you know the grind of prospecting. I mean, all those hours on the phone, sending out emails, and mostly just facing rejection, right? All for that small chance of finding one great client. But what if you could just flip that whole thing on its head? What if the client, in a way, could find you? Let's take a look at how that's even possible.
I mean, does this sound familiar? You've got an amazing service to offer, but just getting in front of the right people feels like trying to find a needle in a haystack. The old way of doing things often feels a lot more cold than it does a genuine call or a real connection. All right, so let's dig into the real problem here. The issue with traditional prospecting isn't about not working hard enough, it's that it completely lacks precision.
It's always been this numbers game, right? You cast this huge, wide net and just hope for the best. But that approach, it just burns through time. And more importantly, it doesn't build those real trust-based relationships that you need for a long-term client.
But here's where things get really interesting. What if, instead of just starting with a long list of names, you started with deep intelligence? What if you knew exactly who you should be talking to before you ever even thought about picking up the phone? Well, this is where a brand new AI-driven method comes into play.
And here's the kind of crazy part. This whole new way of thinking, it doesn't start by looking out at the market. It actually starts by looking inward. To find the right client, you've got to first understand yourself on a much deeper level. And honestly, this might be the biggest game changer in the whole process.
It all kicks off with this really powerful self-assessment that's broken into two main parts. First, it asks you a series of professional questions to figure out your unique advisor archetype, basically who you are as a professional. And then it gets personal. It maps out your interests, things like fishing or hiking or whatever you're into, to find that authentic common ground that sparks a real human connection.
So what exactly is an advisor archetype? Well, think of it like the professional DNA of your business. Based on how you answer, the system identifies your unique style. So for example, your main style might be a knowledge seeker, and your secondary style might be a strategic leader. This isn't just some fluffy label, it's the bedrock for finding your perfect client match. And what you get out of this is basically a strategic playbook built just for you. It lays out your primary and secondary styles, it analyzes who your best client fit is, and it even recommends a marketing approach that's tailored specifically to you and your personality. This profile becomes your compass for everything you do next. So now that you've got this deep understanding of yourself, you're ready for the fun part. Using that data to find perfectly matched prospects out there in the world. And we're not talking about some small local directory here. The system taps into professional databases with over, get this, 300 million profiles. The scale is just massive. It gives you an almost endless pool of potential clients to connect with. So, if you're out there trying to build a brand new book of business from the ground up, you'd use what they call the hunter track. This is totally different from the gatherer track, where you'd be researching people you might already know. Nope. Here, you are actively hunting for new opportunities based on that ideal client profile you just built. And this is where the magic really happens. Look how granular you can get. You can build this incredibly precise blueprint of who you're looking for. Say, an IT director in Denver who works at a small company, is C-level, and has over a decade of experience. You're not guessing anymore, you're targeting with pinpoint accuracy. So what's the result? Boom! Not just a random phone book, but a laser-focused list of people who perfectly match your criteria, like Rodney, Jessica, or Javier here. The system can even hunt down verified email addresses for you, which makes that next step so much easier. Okay, so you've got your list. But a name on a list, that's just the beginning. The real game changer is what happens next. Turning that name into a person you actually understand through an AI-powered intelligence mission. This is where the heavy-duty AI kicks in. Think tools like Perplexity and OpenAI. They go out and scan the entire public internet, social media, podcasts, news articles, you name it, to find everything they can about your prospect. It's literally like having a personal research analyst working for you 24/7. And it's not just pulling up their job title. Check out the kind of deep intelligence it uncovers. For a prospect like Javier Garcia, it can figure out his leadership style, his probable financial mindset, challenges he's facing at work, and even his likely financial goals. A name on a list just became a three-dimensional person. And this is where it gets really powerful. The AI doesn't just give you data, it gives you strategy. A single sentence like this, telling you that Javier values what his peers think, can completely change how you approach him. Suddenly you know a referral might be the best way in. That's an incredible insight. All right, this is the moment we've been building towards. We've done the self-assessment, we've found the ideal client, we've gathered the intel. Now it's time to make that intelligent connection. So what the system does is pretty cool. It puts your profile, your archetypes, your interests right next to your prospect's profile. It's a direct side-by-side comparison of your professional styles, your roles, and even things you might have in common, like an interest in digital transformation. And then it crunches all that data and spits out one simple, powerful number, an alignment score. A score like 75%, that's basically a giant green light. It tells you instantly that there's a really strong foundation here for a good conversation based on both professional and personal common ground. And based on that score, the AI actually helps you write the outreach. And look at this. It's not some generic sales pitch. It's a conversation starter. It references his actual work and connects it back to the advisor's own focus. This is how you build rapport right from the first sentence. And you're not just locked into one way of doing this either. The system crafts different messages that are tailored for different platforms. A personalized email, a LinkedIn connection request, an in-mail message. It gives you the flexibility to connect in whatever way feels most natural. So let's just step back and look at the big picture here. This is a total transformation, isn't it? We've gone from the old game of high volume, low success, cold calling to a new strategy of targeted, high success, intelligent connecting. It's all about quality, not quantity. Insight over guesswork. Which, of course, brings us all the way back to that big question we started with. By starting with who you are, using AI to find people who are a genuine match, and focusing on real alignment, well, it really makes you wonder, are we looking at the beginning of the end for the cold call as we know it?